Hello, and welcome to the newest edition of the Bang Bang Tang podcast. I'm Frank.
I'm Brian.
Welcome back for episode 8.
Ooh, wonderful 8.
2 away from our decadial episode.
Decadial.
That's not a thing.
I'm like, is that an actual thing?
So, continuing with the semi-new format that we started last week. This week we'll have a few of the regular segments, segue into some new games that we started, and might even have a review for you guys for a new property that dropped today on Netflix. Actually, technically the last week by the time you guys hear it. Starting off every episode, we have the Frittata of the week. First, we talk about the winner of last week's poll, which was a rousing 2 votes.
Hey.
Decided this one, and Meryl Streep took it, just like she takes all the awards, baby.
She always does. God damn you.
Not even racism can keep Meryl Streep down.
Of course not. She is a saint.
And so this week, trying to get Brian out of his funk.
And I think I have a good one.
You think so?
That hopefully can get me out of the funk here.
All right, tell listeners what they should vote for this week.
All right, to get me out of the renegades of funk.
The renegades of funk.
My frittata of the week is the state of Iowa.
The whole state.
The whole damn state of Iowa.
All right.
So Iowa, one of Iowa's legislative bodies has passed a bill to allow children to handle handguns.
Ooh.
The state's House of Representatives voted Tuesday to pass a bill that would permit children under the age of 14 to use, and quote, a pistol, revolver, or the ammunition, unquote, while under direct parental supervision.
Well, yeah, as long as mom and dad's there.
Sure, let them shoot.
Jesus Christ.
So what this bill does, a state representative said this.
Uh-huh.
What this bill does, the bill before us, allows for 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds to operate handguns. We do not need a militia of toddlers.
Wow. I mean, believe me, this isn't going to turn into a debate over the Second Amendment or anything like that. Just pure common sense, people. Come on. There's no reason a fucking baby. Just why? Just why?
Well, they say allowing people to learn at a young age the respect that a gun commands is one of the most important things you can do.
One of the most important.
The alternative, he said, is turning 18 with no experience.
Is that the worst that can happen? Is that a post-apocalyptic world that these people don't want to live in?
Man, I just don't get it. Like, why? If I see a toddler, if I go to Iowa at some point and I see a toddler on the corner of the street with like a handgun strapped in his diaper,
Yeah.
I'm turning the other way.
Then again, some of the people that I've seen walking around with this shit, a 1-year-old might be more responsible with it.
Sadly. Depending on the parents. But then again, the parents are the one letting that little kid have a gun anyway, so I don't know.
Does that mean that Dora in her backpack of stuff is going to be strapping a 9?
And killing boots?
Swiper best not swipe any shit from Dora now.
Yeah, bust a cap.
I'm going to get your little mabs. What the fuck did you say?
Better step back.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
It's not good at all.
Good job, Iowa. You might get me a win.
Iowa, I'm just disappointed in you. Just when I thought you couldn't do anything else to make me think lower of you.
You had the field of dreams. Why do you got to give the kid a gun?
It's a whole different movie, just old-timey baseball players.
That little girl who choked on the hot dog has a strap to her the whole time. Saw a ghost in the baseball field. I shot him.
Kevin Costner hits her in the gut with the butt of his gun. Save her life.
Because you shot shoeless Joe Jackson as he came out of the field. I didn't know who he was, man. Someone was trespassing.
It's all right, honey. He was black.
Oh, shoeless Joe Jackson wasn't black.
No?
No.
I haven't seen the movie in so long.
Ray Liotta played him.
He's part black. Come on.
What?
With a name like Ray? Come on.
He's a gangster. He ain't even close.
Come on.
You might be my frittata of the week.
Yeah, so, toddlers carrying guns. No bueno. Thanks, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
As if I needed something else to be worried about.
Hey, guys, want to go visit Iowa? Said no one ever.
Granted, I don't have an entire state to back me up this week. I do have one that I believe encompasses enough stupidity for an entire state of people. And that would be a young woman by the name of Emily Pankhurst.
Okay.
Now, if none of you have heard of this young lady before, you've probably seen the headline that a woman was hospitalized with toxic shock syndrome after she left a tampon in her vagina for 9 days straight.
How do you leave one for 9 days? Aren't you supposed to change it every day?
I assume. I mean, I don't have one.
Right, I don't know.
But
this
even
stuff.
I would know.
But aren't you just supposed to change it every day? Like, how do you just... whatever, move on.
Emily says that she initially blamed exam stress when she started to feel weak and bloated. She then began to feel faint, started to slur her words, and her skin became mottled. I don't know what that means.
What does that even mean?
This is a British article, so ask them. When admitted to intensive care, doctors said she was suffering from sepsis, blood poisoning, as a result of toxic shock syndrome. The third year she's a college student studying criminology.
And yet doesn't know to change a tampon every day.
Says she had inserted the tampon during her period last month, but due to stress had forgotten to remove it and insert another one. Now, I don't know how it feels to have that kind of opening and to have something in it. But how do you forget that?
And isn't there a string that... What'd you think? That was just part of your hair or something? Like, what the hell? I don't know how to help explain this.
You can't. You can't.
I just want to know, how do you forget?
Maybe some of our female listeners can let us know if we're totally off base on this one. If this is a common occurrence, does this happen often?
Right.
I feel uncomfortable when I get a wedgie, like just sitting down. Right. I could imagine just something being inside of me like that.
Right.
And she's learning to walk again. She can't walk, Brian.
That's her own damn
because
fault.
Of a 9-day-old tampon.
I don't even want to know or picture that at all.
No, you don't want to. So that's...
How would you like to be that person's boyfriend?
No.
Something
okay.
feels weird.
Oh, yeah, I left my tampon up in there.
What the fuck?
It's like, honey, you got this little string. It's just like, don't pull it. Don't pull it.
You don't want to see what's inside.
Oh, I don't want that prize. Icky pinata.
Breaks up with her instantly.
It's like that scene from The Shining where the elevator opens up and it just kept it all inside of her.
You just open the door to it all.
Oh, he comes up looking like Bryan after one of his dates when he was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Moving on now.
So, listeners, your nominees for this week are Emily Pankhurst, hashtag Tampon Chick, or the entire state of Iowa.
And they're toddler shooters.
Toddler shooters. I was really hoping I'd have a good pun for that. Got nothing.
For what, toddler shooters?
Yeah.
I don't have a pun for that one. It's a pun on its own.
It is. That's disappointing. So, as always, we will have a poll up on Twitter. You can go to our Twitter account, @BangBangTangPod. Please vote. As always, we'll post the poll up on Facebook as well. And now, because we have a brand spanking new Instagram account, @BangBangTangPodcast, we'll also put up a picture that you can comment on and vote on there as well. Moving on to Shove It in My Mouth, where we talk about tasty and weird food items and places to eat. We actually have the same topic to talk about this week because we went there very recently, and it's a local place by the name of Canton Brewing Company, which is the top restaurant part, and then they have a basement bar called the Speakeasy, and we enjoyed the hell out of it.
We did. They had really good food and good beer. Speakeasy part, I didn't get to explore that much. I mainly just saw the leather couch and said, yes, relax.
So upstairs it's very big. It's very roomy, and you can kind of see some of the equipment that they use to brew the beer, which they brew. I think they have domestic beers that you can get, but they also have at least half a dozen of their own brews.
Named after things here in, is it just Ohio, or is it in Canton that they name all the beers after?
I don't know.
Because I know there was some of the beer names that were from around this area.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was some I thought it was just about, like, just things in Ohio, but...
It could be. It does have a very local feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got food and drinks. I got a flight of beer, which was, I believe, 4 6-ounce little flights, and I liked 2 out of the 4, which isn't bad for me because I'm not a beer drinker.
Right.
I'll drink it because it's cheap, and if I'm looking to get fucked up, that's the easiest way.
Well, we know not to get you stouts.
No, fuck me. This beer was as black as my soul, and it tasted just as dark.
Yeah, stouts aren't good. That's just what that is. Unless you're really into that stuff, which I haven't met a person who's really into stouts.
No.
It's
even people that claim they like stouts, I'm pretty sure, still don't like stouts.
they're full of shit.
They are.
They don't like the stouts. Get out of here.
But you liked yours. I can't remember which one you got.
It was a pale ale.
Yeah.
I can't remember the official name of what they named their beer. It was a pale ale, little like you could really taste like the wheat in it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. It was pretty good. Not my favorite. I mean, there's probably others I would like more than that.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that one.
It's good. I got the stout. I got an amber one. And I also got a IPA and a lager. And I like the IPA and the lager. I like the lager the best. I believe that's generally where I tend to stay. I can't remember what Jane got.
She got the lightest one.
Yeah, and it was
know
really
that.
fucking good.
Like, yeah, pretty much like the lightest beer.
Mm. And
I don't know which one Mo got though. But she's not a beer drinker anyway.
No.
She likes her mixed drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to finish her beer.
I did. I had a lot of beer in one sitting. My legs were a little
at
wobbly.
least 5 beers.
Yeah.
I mean, not full beers, but you had 5 different beers.
Mm-hmm. I probably had 3 full beers in that one sitting. It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
But our significant others got sandwiches, which they seemed to enjoy. We each got a pizza, which is really tasty.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Usually, like, brewery areas, you think their food's not going to be so good, but the beer will be good.
Yeah.
No, their food's good. I like it.
Yeah, everything tastes very homemade from scratch. It was cool. And we would have been just happy with that. But then they had the downstairs bar, which if you have the option of entering from the street from just this really inconspicuous door in the side of the building that has a little sign over it that says speakeasy, and you go down these narrow steps through these hallways and you come out into this giant area that's surrounded in brick, and they have all of the brewing equipment back in there in like these kind of catacomb areas, and it's very spacious and it's a little dim, and it looks like a Prohibition era speakeasy. It is the coolest place.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you even had cornhole.
They had 2 sets of cornhole.
One area. You can order your own pizza and pick it up from the window.
You could.
Which I was full by that time, so that wasn't happening whatsoever.
They had 2 leather couches that you can kind of chill at. The only downside is we didn't know when we went down, but they do have a bar down there, but they only serve drafts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get a draft of any of their home brews that you wanted, but you couldn't get a cocktail or anything, which was slightly disappointing. But now I know for next time. But yeah, it was neat. I highly recommend it. I could see us going back there a lot.
Yeah, I might try and go back there sometime soon.
Definitely try the cornhole.
Yeah, no one was even using it, so...
No. Because, I mean, it is kind of weird. To be completely honest.
You think a cornhole is outside type of thing? I'm not going to be in the middle of a bar playing cornhole. I can understand if there was a pool table,
Yeah.
or a foosball table, or a ping pong table, or even that skee ball thing they got, like where you slide the puck. Not skee ball.
Air hockey?
Yeah, no, not the air hockey one. Shuffleboard.
Oh, shuffleboard, yeah.
There we go. But not cornhole. Because you gotta imagine when it hits the board, it's loud.
Probably.
You gotta hear it all through the bar.
Yeah. Probably count ourselves lucky that no one was playing.
Yeah.
But that's it. There was music, but it wasn't overbearing. It wasn't terribly loud. It was just finally a new bar where you can just kind of go and chill.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so few of those anymore. But Canton Brewing Company in downtown Canton, again, very close to home for us. Check it out if you're in the area. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. And nothing crazy. It's just good food, good drink.
Mainly like burgers and pizza. I think that was mainly it, though, right? Burgers and pizza.
Mostly, yeah, sandwiches, some sides, appetizers.
Yeah.
Mostly just bar food.
Right.
But really good bar food.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all we got for Shoving in My Mouth this week. I guess after the quesalupa, nobody really wants to try and come up with anything new.
It was so disappointing.
I didn't realize it was pepper jack cheese in there.
Even though Mo had it the other day, and I asked her, I said, is the inside of the shell cheesy for you, or is it like hollow like mine was, where there was like barely any cheese? She goes, no, hers was lined up pretty well. I mean, of course, like she couldn't pull it apart like you see in the commercials.
Yeah.
But there was more cheese in it than what I had, I guess. So I guess it all depends on how they made it that day. So, I don't know.
Or if they have your face. Maybe they just didn't like your face.
Maybe. But I was only in there for like 10 seconds. I used the online app and ordered, and then I went in and picked it up.
Oh, they had a feeling.
They had a feeling. This guy's name's Brian. You know what? I'm not going to put any
Brian
cheese.
With a Y? Who the fuck uses a Y?
You know what? No cheese.
You know what?
No cheese.
Which moves us right along into Geeking About Sports, also now known as Jerkin' My Gherkin. Why Because we can.
Yeah, why
Because
not?
it's our fucking podcast.
Because you will be so excited about this geeking news that you will be jerking your gherkin.
It's all order to fill.
Any news is good news, sir.
You just really love sports and geek stuff. You're just anything. So on Batman this week, Batman.
Jerkin.
Jerking my gherkin.
You ever bop your baloney?
You ever seen a grown man naked, Timmy? But speaking of Batman, a lot of Batman vs. Superman news coming out this week. First and foremost, I believe it was Regal Cinemas let it slip how long the movie was going to be, which unsuspectingly you're like, what does that mean? But when you think about it, knowing that this movie, the official runtime is 151 minutes, which is 2.5 hours.
Yes.
And so you're like, I get 2.5 hours worth of movie, which is awesome because ticket prices are only going up.
Yeah. Unless you see it on Tuesdays here at the local Tinseltown Theater for $5.
Yeah. But also, there is going to be so much story in this movie, or at least there needs to be.
Oh, yeah, because you need to explain, why are they fighting?
And you have a new Batman, and not only a new person playing Batman, but conceivably a whole different Batman than you've seen on screen before.
So forget about Christian Bale.
Yeah.
He is not the same dude.
And so you need to parlay into how he's been a part of Superman's world since before the last movie. And where was he during all that? And
You have a new Alfred even. You have...
Alfred, you got Lex Luthor. I
mean, you got Wonder Woman at some point. You got to explain her. I mean, she can't just pop up out of nowhere and say, hey, look at this girl.
Yeah.
And then Aquaman makes an appearance, so you kind of have to explain him a little bit.
And Flash. And Cyborg.
So you got to explain him. Cyborg, you don't have to explain him. He's whatever. But no.
Yeah,
You got a lot to explain. I'm excited, though, still.
Oh, I'm very excited. And we can see from the trailer that you still see, even if it's short, you see a flashback to Batman's parents dying, and they allude to Robin dying. Which Robin that is, we don't know yet.
It's the one that the Joker killed.
Jason Todd?
Yeah. Because the Joker spray painted on the suit.
Yeah. But, they could change it.
If they do, that's really dumb.
It is.
Because Joker only killed one Robin.
Yeah.
The other Robins did their own thing. Became Nightwing, became Red Hood.
No. And I was initially excited because I was like, 2.5 hours, awesome. And now when I think about all the story that they have to tell, I'm like, is that even still enough?
Right.
Is 2.5 hours even enough time to explain everything and do it well? And how much of it is going to be Batman actually versus Superman?
Well, because they team up.
Yeah, they team up, but first, all right. So, breaking it down, you have to introduce Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You have to cover the span of time between Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Superman's world with Lois Lane and Perry White.
Mm-hmm.
So, you introduce Batman, and then they have to fight, and then they have to team up against Lex Luthor and or Doomsday. And then you got to bring Wonder Woman in to then defeat whatever it is. So it's...
With Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg. And
I don't think they're fighting.
No, they'll probably, you'll just see them here or there maybe, but...
Yeah.
No, they won't be a big part of it.
So, I don't know.
I don't care either way. I'm super excited.
But, knowing that it's going to be 2.5 hours and you have so much to do, leads into the second part of this, which is the other big piece of news that came out hot off the heels of the success of Deadpool, which is that there will be an alternative version of the movie released on Blu-ray.
Okay.
A unrated version, rated R. And apparently, when the movie was first made and it was submitted to the MPAA, they said it's rated R, and so they cut a shit ton of violence out of it.
Now I just want the Blu-ray to come out. Like, forget
Exactly.
the theater version. Just
Fuck that part.
go straight to Blu-ray. I'll buy it instantly and be like, let's watch this.
Because instantly, getting to watch it in your underwear eating Cheetos is better than sitting in the theater.
Jerking your gherkin.
Oh, Batman.
Why you sound like that?
Because that's how...
Are you really about Batman like that?
Because people that jerk their gherkin, they have to talk like that.
And they're for Batman, apparently.
If they refer to it as jerking my gherkin, they sound like that.
Gherkin.
So, how much more footage we're going to get with that version might knock it up to a 3-hour movie. Which is doubly awesome.
Right. I'm watching a Lord of the Rings movie, but with superheroes.
Which is what they should be.
Mm-hmm.
They really should. Like, and it makes me happy that Batman vs. Superman's doing that, and I'm kind of worried that Civil War will be too short for what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was really hoping that they would make it a surprise and be like, hey, splitting it into 2 movies. And I'm like, awesome.
But no, because it's Robert Downey Jr.'s last movie under contract, his current contract.
Yeah.
So.
And I keep reading rumors that Steve Rogers will die.
Really? I think, though, Iron Man will die. Because, like I said, Robert Downey Jr.'s last movie under contract as Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you just kill him? And in the comics, is it right that Tony Stark dies in the actual Civil War comics?
I don't believe so.
I thought I heard that somewhere.
No, I don't. I think it's a storyline within Civil War, but I believe it is Steve Rogers that dies because of it. And Crossbones, who we know is going to be a part of it, is the one that does it. Oh, yeah.
I did not know that. I mean, I knew Crossbones was in it. I didn't know he was the one that does it, though.
That's why people are saying it's probably going to be him. And then for Infinity Wars Part 1, you'll have Bucky in the suit taking up the mantle. And then for Part 2, they'll think of a way to resurrect Steve Rogers for the finale.
Chris Evans isn't gonna want to do it for that long.
I think he will. You'd be stupid not to.
I mean, they all are talking about always dropping off and retiring from doing it because they're getting old. They can't do this anymore.
They're all like in their 30s still.
No, they're not. You tell me Robert Downey Jr. is not.
Well,
goddamn
other than
30s.
him, he's like the elder statesman of the group.
That is true.
He might legitimately die.
Him and the Hulk, but whatever.
Yeah, Ruffalo might be up there.
I believe he's close to Robert Downey Jr.'s age.
Definitely the Chris's are fine.
Yeah,
The Chris's
are
will make it.
fine. Scarlett, she'll be all right. And then Renner's not going to be in anything after this probably because you don't need a Hawkeye in any of these future things.
No.
You don't even need a Black Widow in any of these future things.
No.
So, we're fine without you. We liked you, but we're fine without you.
You served your purpose.
Spider-Man will be the youngest.
Yes, he will. That's going to be weird.
It'd be very weird. But I'm excited to see him. And there hasn't been one leaked picture or footage of this guy.
Mm-mm.
And I want to see it.
I'm really surprised. Do you think anything will get leaked? Do you think that we could possibly make it to the release day
Without seeing a single Spider-Man?
and not have any clue where he pops up in the movie, what he looks like?
Since we've made it this far without seeing anything,
Mm.
I think we can make it to opening without seeing anything. We might see what Peter Parker looks like,
Oh, yeah.
but we won't see the suit.
You look at the picture of the kid on IMDb, and that's what Peter Parker looks like.
Well, but you got to put him look nerdy and
the glasses and Now, do you think that they would ever possibly be desperate enough to include him in the trailers or anything, or any promo images?
Nope. Maybe like a web,
Mm-hmm.
but not him. Like they'll show maybe like a web somewhere as like a little teaser thing.
Yeah.
But they won't show him.
Considering they're not making a bigger deal out of it, do you wonder how much of a part he'll actually play in it?
That's what I'm worried about. Like, is he just gonna be passing on the sidewalk, and Tony's gonna go, "Hey, Pete," and Pete's gonna go,
Hey, Tony.
Hey, is that Peter Parker? Yeah, it is. All right, see you next movie.
and that's it. Like, you don't see him anymore. You don't even see him in the suit. You just go, "Hi, Pete," and that's it.
He walks by, drops a mask on the ground, picks it up real quick.
Or he has it hanging out of his back pocket or something.
I mean, I guess you can blame. No, that would be bad form.
That would be very bad form for
don't
Marvel.
And especially you would change. I mean, you're already going to have to change how this plays out as opposed to how it does in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the comics, it's already totally different.
Right.
Which
Well,
are
just like anything, they change up from the comics pretty much.
Yeah.
Or at least they try to. Like, they'll skew a few things here and there, but...
Mm-hmm. We'll see. May?
Yes,
Yeah.
because March is Batman versus Superman.
Mm-hmm.
May is Civil War.
Yeah. Nice. It's getting there.
Can't come fast enough.
I know. And neither will I in the theater. Just a little Batman.
Now, opening night, I will be there. Opening night. Even if you're not there, sir, I will be there opening night.
Depends on what times they are.
Sitting there crying my eyes out that I am seeing this movie like a pure joy.
Does anything in your mind think you could be disappointed?
If the fights suck,
Mm-hmm.
I will be very disappointed. Like, remember when the Fast and Furious movie, they built up, The Rock and Vin Diesel are going to fight.
Yeah.
And their fight ended up them hugging pretty much the whole fight. Like, no one was throwing punches.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed in that fight. If Batman versus Superman is like that with the fights,
Just making out the whole time.
where they don't get really good hits with each other, they're just
Yeah.
like, oh, let's wrestle. I'm going to be so disappointed in the whole
You're
thing.
looking a little oily there, Batman. What do you say we tussle?
Let me get some grease off your hair, Superman, and let's go to town.
Are you going to see the gay porno version of this movie?
They probably have one released.
Wow. I guess we'll see. See very soon. Also, things that are in the immediate future, aka now for us, aka the past for you guys when you listen to it. Fuller House debuted on Netflix today.
Whew.
And we watched it right before we hit record.
I tried to watch it.
And
That was-
yeah, it's a thing.
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. It was like terrible acting. Like they knew, hey, we're just in this for fun.
Which, to be fair, is in the sense of the original.
It's been a while since I watched any of the original.
It doesn't hold up great. I've watched reruns on like Nick at Night and that kind of stuff, and it's rough.
Is it really?
And this, it does. It feels like the original, and I give him props for that. Aside from, I expected that there was probably going to be some winks to the camera and like, do you remember this old gag and that?
Then flashbacks.
But there are times that they literally fucking looked at the camera and blatantly did it. And
Well,
then
that's like-
laughed about it.
It's like when John Stamos goes, and can I say, we all look pretty good.
Yeah.
I looked at him like, Like, you haven't seen these people at all? Like, what joke is that?
And it was funny the first maybe 5 seconds when it happened, but the joke made about the Olsen twins,
That one was good.
where they're just all standing in the kitchen and they're like, "Where's Michelle?" And Bob Saget goes, "She's too busy with her fashion empire in New York City to be here." And then that would be funny. And then everyone stares into your soul through the camera for a good 10 to 15 seconds.
It was awkward.
It's so awkward.
Like, you wanted to walk away from the TV after seeing that. You're like, okay.
Like, they just all were like, huh? And then went back to it. No, they held it. And it was so bad. I don't know why they felt that was... And then the episode ended with... So the very first episode, to calm Michelle down, the original trio of guys, they sing the Flintstones song.
With DJ and Stephanie.
And they all surround the playpen, and then they walk around and singing it. It's cute. And so they decided to recreate that with DJ's newest baby boy.
Tommy? Is that his name?
Tommy, yes. And that, again, would have been fine if that was it, but the whole time they played the original scene right next to it.
They went side by side with the scenes, and they kept the sound to both of them.
They did.
So it was like two people were singing at the same time. Like, two groups were just singing. Like, it would have been better if you muted the old one and continued with the new one and just kept the sound going. Instead, it was just very weird.
Or don't show it.
Right,
just don't.
Because you should get it if you watched it.
And there was just no subtlety. Like, Steve shows up, and he's maybe there for a third, maybe even just a quarter of the episode screen time. And the whole time he's there, he's just blatantly like, "Hey, remember when we dated? I loved you then. I still love you now.
Your husband's dead, but let's get together."
That's
and I
all
eat a lot of food.
Still.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you not 500 pounds?
It was just, there was just no subtlety at all.
Well, and then they decided, hey, let's throw in the dog.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about the dog at all. Why would you throw the dog in?
Also, why does Steve have Comet Jr.?
Right. How did he get the dog?
It's just... I will probably watch the rest of them.
I don't know if I can.
It'll be rough for nostalgia's sake, but yeah.
Until next month when Daredevil Season 2 comes out.
Yeah, no matter where I'm at with that series, Daredevil will be happening day one.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so bad.
It really was. I was expecting a lot more from it.
Yeah.
And it really disappointed me. I was not a fan of it. Stephanie looking good, though.
Stephanie did look good. I mean, the cast overall, minus Bob Saget,
who looked like he had a stroke.
What happened to Bob Saget?
He just looked like he had a stroke. And the way he talks, it's like he can't comprehend sentences or anything like that.
Yeah, it was so exaggerated. Like he was having trouble, like, speaking.
Or like he wanted to cry every time he tried to speak.
Yeah.
I love you, DJ. Why did I sound like an old man? I don't know. Because I think Bob Saget, he's pretty old.
Also, this is just being nitpicky at this point, but when the show was originally on, Danny Tanner dressed like a 50-year-old man.
Right.
But when the show is on now, he actually looks more modern now than he did back then.
Or I would even say like a younger hip person now
Yeah.
than he did back then.
It doesn't make any sense. He
Like
just,
the patterns of his shirt he wears now, pretty common now. They're in style.
yeah. It's almost like Bob Saget wasn't going to be a part of it, and he wandered onto the set, and they were like,
just said, just say whatever you feel like saying.
let's use him anyways. It's only going to be one episode.
He can't read, so let's just say what you need to say.
He was on a bender the night before, had a couple drinks at lunch, came to the set, and was just, they fed him lines the whole time.
And John Stamos just wanted to get out of there so he can continue shooting episodes of his other TV show.
Grinder that no one's watching.
I watched the first episode of that. It was okay. But
No, that was Rob Lowe's and Grinder.
Yeah, it's
Grandpa.
something close to that.
Yeah,
But it was a pretty good episode, the first episode I saw of that, but I didn't watch any more of it.
and
Now you got me thinking, what is the title of that?
it was nice of them to get Dave Coulier out on parole to film, because I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
the random camera angles were weird. Like they just all of a sudden they'd be like, oh, the normal setting, and then they just look over Bob Saget's shoulder to look at like somebody's face, like up close. Like, what's your reaction to this?
Yeah,
I was like, okay, this is a weird camera angle.
it's just weird overall, and it does seem kind of more adult than the original one was. Not overtly. Like,
but there's blatantly some.
Yeah,
Like I said, Stephanie wearing a shirt that showed a lot.
Showed her Stephanie Tanners.
Grown up Stephanie Tanners.
Somebody's gonna be jerking their Gherkins Fuller House tonight.
Oh, no.
Teach me a lesson, Bob Saget.
No. No.
So, Fuller House,
I give it a D.
give it a D.
Give it a D for disappointing.
Or a D for Stephanie's tits.
Hey.
Hey-o!
Giggity.
Yeah, like a 6 out of 10. I don't know. Scale. Maybe 2 3/4 stars. I don't know. For nostalgia's sake, give it a shot. But it's not great. And I believe that about covers it for all the headlines for this episode. Which means we're on to the fun shit.
Yay.
This week, on our new segment, I Want to Be a Producer, the 3 new topics that we will have to turn into a movie pitch. If we were going to a Hollywood producer's office, this is what we would pitch them.
Okay.
This week's going to be rough. Even more so than Bill Murray, Lady Gaga, and
Shadow Day?
more so than Shadow Day. We have, number 1, Snorlax, the Pokemon from the Pokemon games and show.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield 5, the video game.
Okay.
And last but not least, the Longaberger Company, a Ohio-based company that makes wicker baskets. Now, some backstory as to why these are the trending topics, so maybe it'll give us a little something to work with. Snorlax is in because there is a giant cushion that is shaped like him that you can buy now.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that.
Battlefield 5, they're saying, may take place in World War I. And the Longaberger Company, their headquarters is shaped like a wicker basket. And they're leaving that place. So, basket-shaped basket company, World War I, Battlefield 5, and Snorlax. So,
So my initial thought is that Snorlax is an employee at the basket factory.
Longaberger, yeah.
You can keep calling it that. I'm not going to call it
Longaberger.
And he's supposed to work because they're getting a huge shipment of wood in to make their baskets.
Did you say wood? It's alright, you can ask me to cut it out.
Shut up.
You guys remember when we used to do that one? That funny joke? Funny one-liner? Ah, you guys remember.
Moving on. But the new Battlefield 5 just released, so he has to decide, do I stay home and play the game, or do I go to work and make baskets for 8 hours?
I could see where the conundrum would lie. So is this a thriller that you're proposing?
Well, let's just say he's a very lazy employee, and he always wants to sleep.
Okay, all right. Okay. Alternative. So it's World War One, and so whoever we're fighting, which I believe was Russia? No, not Russia. It's not Germany. Is it Germany? No, it's not Germany.
I don't know who it was.
Fuck, dude.
Just move on from it.
So,
Whoever we're fighting.
some European country. They've built their own Snorlax
Okay.
and are currently using him to block supply lines in England, so our troops cannot get the military needs that they require. Knowing this, their only course of action is to put in a call to the Longaberger Company in Newark, Ohio,
Of all places.
to construct a basket large enough to tote away Snorlax, thus winning World War One.
I'm going to hard pass on that movie.
Or they use the building itself because it's in the shape of a basket.
Would you call it the Wicker Lax?
The wicker. No, we wouldn't. No. I would not call it that.
Instead of the Wicker Man, you call it the Wicker Lax?
So... But Battlefield 5, how would we work that in?
Well, you did with your World War One.
Yeah, but I guess we should try to use Battlefield 5 in general.
I tried. That's the only way I can think about it is he has to... the game's released. He either plays it or he has to go to work. A huge dilemma. Dave Chappelle is a co-star. They get high all the time. That's why Snorlax is so sleepy all the damn time.
Dave Chappelle plays a worker at the basket company.
Okay.
So to tie in with what you were going for.
Okay.
And the newest Battlefield 5 video game is coming out, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And he is leaving work after a very long, arduous day to go and pick up his copy reserved at GameStop. And on the way, he discovers a Snorlax in the road. Only to then discover as well that somebody has recreated real-life Pokemon.
Interesting turn.
This movie is called what?
That's not a good title, sir. I don't know why you're naming it what.
Going to tell you now that this movie is called Basket Full of Pokemon. Pokebasket. Basketmon. Poke
My basket? Is that what you're going to say pretty soon? Because you're leaning towards that way.
Put my balls in the basket.
Gotta catch them all.
That could be. No.
Mm-mm.
So a title, Snorlax Pit. That's from Star Wars. That's not
Fett
even
is currently in there.
It's a pokey flute. So that's what you need to move the Snorlax.
Is that right?
Yeah, the pokey flute.
I don't know, man. I haven't paid attention to Pokemon in such a long time.
I mean, I played the games on my Game Boy. That was.
You would name it
Yes.
My Giant Snorlax.
So then. Okay, so it wouldn't have to be all Pokemon are real, just the Snorlax. And Dave.
No, Pokemon are real, but he befriends the Snorlax.
In order to get him to move. Promises Snorlax weed at his house.
Weed and Battlefield 5.
Yes.
And Cheetos. Because I'm pretty sure you're going to need some Cheetos.
Oh, definitely Cheetos. A lot of Cheetos. Snorlax is big.
Yeah.
So.
Then they become friends.
Uh-huh.
Like Pineapple Express, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you befriended the drug dude.
But, so Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen would be
Snorlax.
Dave Chappelle at that point.
Yeah. Dave Franco as Snorlax.
James isn't in
Fuck!
that one. Get it right.
This is the second time I've done that.
Get it right.
So, like the Japanese cartoon, My Neighbor Totoro and Me, this could be called My Buddy Snorlax and Me.
How about My Buddy Snorlax? Don't add the and me, because that's just weird for a title.
Snorlax.
Or Snorlax and Me.
Snorlax and Me.
I Snorlax.
Snorlax. Snorlax and Chill.
Oh, that could work.
Snorlax and Chill.
Snorlax Express.
So,
No, I don't know.
Snorlaxin.
No.
No.
Half Baked with Snorlax. Because that's essentially a sequel now, because you put Dave Chappelle as a weed man.
So does that mean, can we make Jim Brewer Snorlax?
No, Jim Brewer is the GameStop employee.
Yes, which means Harlan Williams is Snorlax.
Yes. Only voicing him, though. You can't be Snorlax.
No.
He has to be an animated character.
Yeah. Which, does make sense. And then Bob Saget makes a cameo.
Trying to buy the game, and he can't do it.
Yeah. He gets the first copy, and he goes, you know how much dick I sucked to get this game? Oh, man, the title for this one is hard.
Name it.
So it's all about weed and Snorlax and playing the game. So
I like it. Snorlax and Chill seems to be
Snorlax and Chill.
Snorlax and Chill.
All right.
The quest for Cheetos.
Yes. Snorlax and Chill, the quest for Cheetos.
Even though they're not on a quest for Cheetos. Or are they? They get to the house to play the video games and smoke weed, but realize they have no Cheetos. So they go to the nearest gas station store, whatever, Sheetz, and realize they don't have any Cheetos. So therefore, it turns into a White Castle.
It turns into Heroin Kumar.
The quest for Cheetos.
All right. Snorlax and Chill, The Quest for Cheetos.
There you go.
Movie about,
in theaters 2017.
which meets the cast of Half-Baked as disgruntled Wicker Basket employee Dave Chappelle, Harlan Williams as Snorlax, Jim Brewer as GameStop employee.
Bob Saget makes a gracious...
Bob Saget would be Neil Patrick Harris's character, playing himself. And Dave Chappelle meets a real-life Snorlax on his way home to play Battlefield 5. He befriends the Snorlax and gets him to move by promising him weed and video games. Get back to Dave Chappelle's apartment, get high, play some video games, get the munchies for some Cheetos.
And realize they have no Cheetos.
Gotta go to the store.
They go to the nearest store. There are no Cheetos.
Store's out.
So then they decide, where's the one place where they always are stocked on Cheetos?
There is a lone 7-Eleven on the outskirts of town.
And who works at that lone 7-Eleven on the outskirts of town? Charlie Murphy.
Charlie. And then just like Fuller House, Dave Chappelle walks in, slaps him across the face, screams, "Charlie Murphy!"
And looks
and then
right
stares at the camera.
Hoping
15 seconds.
Hoping you remember what that's from. Actually, wasn't that the news? It's either today or yesterday. It was 15 years ago that it aired.
Oh my God. That can't be.
Honestly, that can't be right. Maybe 10 years?
No, probably 15 would be about right.
Yeah, something like that. It was like the anniversary, either today or yesterday, is the anniversary of the Rick James story.
Wow. Well, it's just like when in Fuller House when they said that. I'm blanking on his name. The funny one, Dave Coulier's character, Joey. Is it Joey? Yeah.
Yeah.
When they said that he was 60, and I was like,
and then he said,
"No,
I'm 55-ish,"
and I'm like,
"No," and you're still like,
"No, you're not."
Come on, man. But back to the movie.
Back to the movie.
They run into a lot of problems. Then at some point, they get to this lone 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And buy all the Cheetos that they
all
can from Charlie Murphy.
Yes.
And then make it back home to play video games.
Finn. I like it. Snorlax and Chill, search for Cheetos.
Yep.
All right. We are trucking along. Doing good on time.
That's good.
But unfortunately, that means that we're at our final segment. One word to impress.
Okay.
And which means that we randomly select a celebrity that Brian and I will then have to concoct the perfect one-word impression for that celebrity.
Okay. Now, can it be different celebrities? Like, since we got 3 choices, can you pick one different than I can pick?
We can.
Okay.
Works for me. So, we randomly generated 3 celebrities before the show started. And those celebrities are, and I will give Brian first pick. They are Simon Cowell, Drew Barrymore, and Dave Matthews. Your pick, sir.
I'm going to pick Simon Cowell.
I had a feeling. I think I gotta go with Dave Matthews.
Okay.
It's not gonna be great, but...
Now, do you want to go first? Since I picked first, you can go first.
Alright. So, obviously, gotta go with one of his songs. And he has kind of a weird voice. It kind of sounds swallowed. Like, very guttural. One of my favorites is probably The Space Between. A classic song. And there aren't many words you can make out because of his voice other than the space between. Which means it's probably going to have to be one of those three words. So I guess the best I can muster is space. Space.
It's hard to tell that it's really him.
Yeah.
now.
The space between. Oh, is there any other?
Honestly, I'm not a Dave Matthews fan, so I can't think of other songs of theirs.
Ants Go Marching and I guess Crash.
Into the...
Oh, there we go. Satellite.
There you go.
There we go.
There you
I
go.
like it. Satellite.
Dave Matthews, ladies and gentlemen. Bloody.
Bloody.
As in, that was bloody awful.
Bloody.
Bloody.
Also known as the tampon that Emily Banker from what the fuck her name was. Pankhurst pulled out of her vagina.
Bloody.
Bloody. It's just awful.
It's not Simon anymore.
No.
It's a little too calm for Simon just to go, it's awful.
But that's how he did it. He was like very proper about it. Like he didn't go
Yeah,
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, but he had like the harsh voice to it. Like his voice wasn't smooth about it. He was
No.
like, that was bloody awful.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. So you got Bloody and Satellite.
What weird choices.
I know. Well, for funsies, since we still have some time to kill, if you had chosen Drew Barrymore, what would you do for her?
Julia.
Because that's the only thing I could think of.
What is that from?
That's from a Wedding Singer.
That's right.
Where she was like practicing her name in the mirror, and
yeah.
she'd be like, "Hello, I'm Mrs. Julia." Starts crying at herself.
Hello. Like, no.
You
No,
just terrified the hell out of me with that.
There's a method to it because
What was hello?
the movie.
What was that? Like you randomly got a stroke, got a deeper voice, and just channeled nobody. And it was, hello.
No. The movie No Strings Attached. One of the characters, she does a Drew Barrymore, and it's really good. And that's how she does it. She kind of talks out of the side of her mouth. And it's like, hello.
You sound like Kate McKinnon when she's trying to be Ellen. Hi, I'm Ellen. Hello.
All right, Drew Barrymore can't be done. Can't be done.
Julia.
Julia. Why? That's my go-to now. This is Julia. Just
You know who you sound like? You're fucking Owen Wilson.
Just Julia Golia. It's just Julia Golia, man.
I would say more Luke Wilson than Owen Wilson.
It's just Julia. It's just Julia. It's just Julia. Julia Golia. Yeah, the wheels have fallen off the podcast.
This is Robbie Hart.
See? You feel better about it.
Johnny Carson? My Owen Wilson, who am I?
I don't know anymore.
The wheels have fallen off, folks.
That's interesting.
Now you see, you started off with a Drew Barrymore.
With Julia.
Her last name would be Gulia.
Gulia. Fiend. That was a lighter. I don't know. I was fucking around with it.
Come on, man.
Alright. Well, now that the fun stuff is over, now we got to get into the plugs. As always, you can find us at Bang Bang Tang Podcast on Twitter, our Facebook page, facebook.com/Bang Bang Tang Podcast, AudioMac, CreatureSoulMyTwinkie.wordpress.com. Like I said, we have a new Instagram that you can check out. We'll have promos for Frittata of the Week and the newest episodes, along with pictures of Bryan and I as we record, before we record. I recorded a little video snippet there that'll be up. And leave us a comment, like, share, everything. Still, I have lost all hope on iTunes. It's beyond my comprehension on how the fuck you get anything on there. I've looked at everything. Brian's looked at shit. Mm-hmm. If anyone would be a kind enough human being to volunteer to do it for us, please step forward. I don't know what we would give you as payment or as gratification to make it worthwhile, but if anyone knows, please get a hold of us. bangbangtankpodcast@gmail.com. You can private message us on any of our social media platforms. Please lend us a hand and listen, like, and share any episode that you enjoy. For this week, I'm Frank.
I'm Bryan. Space.